A very pleasant morning to all my dear students. I hope you are all fine and updating yourself with the daily videos and study materials that are sent to you. I am Poonam R, your new SST class teacher. I know children, you are not very much familiar with me, but don't worry. Very soon we are going to build a very good rapport between you and me. Today's class, let us begin with chapter History. You all know students, history is a study of past and it plays a prominent role in our life by giving us information about the kings, kingdoms ruled by them, territories enhanced by them, and monuments built by them. Today's topic, we are going to study about our capital Delhi, which was ruled by different rulers from 12th century to 15th century under the topic the Delhi Sultanate. Children, our capital Delhi was inhabited by many people, but till 12th century it was not emerged as a major city. It was under the two important Rajput dynasties, that is the Tomar Rajput and the Chauhans, or they were also called as Jahamanas, who belonged to Ajmer. Children, the important ruler of Chauhan dynasty was Prithviraj Chauhan. These two dynasties together made Delhi as a commercial center. The coins were minted and these coins were called as Dehliwal. Children, these coins were widely circulated for the purpose of commercial export and import. It was a time when Delhi was at peak of progress. But unfortunately, children, in the year 1192 AD, with the defeat of Prithviraj Chauhan, again Delhi changed its hands and for the first time it came under the Muslim rule established by Muhammad Ghori. And he gave a name as the Delhi Sultanate, which means the rule of 5 Muslim kingdoms. Children, these rulers were very eminent and artistic. They built many cities. The important cities which were built by these rulers are as follows. Children, the important cities which were built by those rulers are as follows. They are Jahapanas, Siri and Firzabad. These are the cities which were built by the Delhi Sultanate rulers and which together called as today's Delhi. Children, now you may have a question that how do we come to know that which ruler constructed which city and in which place? So children, all these information we are going to get with the help of an historical sources. So let us see what are the different historical sources. Children, when we talk about historical resources, it is inscription, coins and monuments which gives us information about all the sources. Here inscriptions are the written records, coins you all know, monuments are the architectures or the buildings. Children, when we talk about Delhi's resources, they are the histories or which are called as Tariq or Twarik, which means histories in Persian language. During this time, all the works were written in Persia. It is because Persian was the official language of the administration. And these works were written by the learned men of the kingdom. They were the noblemen who were the part of the royal court. The noblemen included the poets, the administrators and the courtiers. These noblemen played a very important role in king's life as they gave them advice to maintain social order which was based on birthright and gender discrimination. You need to know one more thing, children. These nobles, they have never wrote the actual fact. In fact, they used to write only the things which used to impress the king so that they can get more and more rewards. Here rewards may be in the form of land, it may be a cash or any kind of wealth or treasure. Children, those histories not only gave the information about the life of nobles, but they also gave a detailed information of the different dynasties which ruled over Delhi over the span of 320 years, that is from 12th century to 15th century AD. Here are the 5 Muslim dynasties which ruled over Delhi. First comes the early Turkish slave or Mamluk dynasty. The second is the Khilji dynasty. Next comes the Tughlaq dynasty. The other one is the Sayyid dynasty, and at the last it is the Lodhi dynasty. So these were the 5 major dynasties which ruled over Delhi for the span of 320 years. Children, let us first start with the first dynasty, that is early Turkish slave or Mamluk dynasty, which means a single dynasty can be called as into 3 different names. Here the founder of the dynasty was Qutbuddin Aibak, who ruled from 1206 to 1210 AD. Children, this dynasty is called a slave dynasty because 3 of its rulers, they themselves were slaves. Qutbuddin Aibak, he himself was a slave of Muhammad Ghori. But children, he raised his power due to his merit, ability and the skill which he had. He was a generous ruler and gave a large sum of money to both Hindus and Muslims, for which he has got a title called Lal Bakhsh. He was also known for the contribution of Qutub Minar, which was later completed by his successor Iltutmish, which we are going to study in the next topic. Children, after Qutbuddin Aibak, the next important ruler was Iltutmish. He himself was a slave of Qutbuddin Aibak, who ruled from 1210 to 1236 AD. Iltutmish was regarded as the real artistic of Muslim rule in India. He protected many times his kingdom from Mughal invaders, in which the important was Genghis Khan. Children, during those days there was a terror of Mughal invasion because now and then they attacked Delhi. Iltutmish, being an eminent ruler, he had made many reforms and have given several contributions to Delhi rule. They are as follows. Children, he organized Chalisa, which means a team of 40 nobles. He also introduced coin currencies, where he introduced 2 different types of currencies. One is a silver coin and other is a copper coins. The silver coins were called as Tanka and the copper coins were called as Chitta. The another important contribution of Iltutmish is he completed the Qutub Minar, which was started by Qutbuddin Aibak. After Iltutmish, the next important ruler of the slave dynasty was Razia, the daughter of Iltutmish. Iltutmish has 4 sons, but none of them were capable enough to sit on the throne. So before his death, he announced Razia to be the ruler of the kingdom. Finally, Razia in the year 1236 was made to sit on the throne. But this was not liked by many people because she was the first and the last woman ruler. It became very difficult for the people to accept a woman as a ruler, especially the nobles who were unhappy, who still believed in maintaining the social orders which was based on birthright and gender discrimination. As a result of it, Razia was able to rule only for 4 years and finally in the year 1240 AD, she was removed from the throne. After a long struggle, she was defeated and at last she was killed. After the death of Nasruddin, that is the son of Iltutmish, Ghiyazuddin Balban, he was brought to the throne. He ruled from 1266 to 1286, that is for the span of 20 years. He was known for his important policy, blood and iron. Many times he defended his kingdoms from Mughal invasion. As I told you earlier, children, that there was a terror of Mughal attack in Delhi and many rulers used to face that. Balban was a loyal general of Iltutmish. He himself trained him for the self-defense. Balban was a man of strict disciplinary and he always recommended a simple life. After his death in 1287, the throne went into hand of his grandson. His grandson was the last ruler of the slave dynasty, who was murdered in the year 1290 AD. And finally, this was an end to the slave dynasty and the throne of slave dynasty went into the hand of the Khalji dynasty. So children, in our next class, we are going to study about the remaining dynasties such as the Khalji dynasties, the Tughlaq dynasties, the Sayyids and the Ludis. Thank you children for your attention. Have a nice day.